All right. All right. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, guys. I'm Dominic Napa, otherwise known online as the Concrete Yogi, and I'm really excited to jump into this one with you guys today because, like I've said in the last video, like I said in probably every single video, I'm just getting getting the main stuff out the way. You know, we're getting the important stuff out the way. I have a microphone today. I told you guys I'm leveling up. This whole production quality is going through the roof. It's just incredible. I mean, I don't want to go too high tech. I don't want to talk about like it's extendable. I can hold it down here, you know? So, okay. And because of that, that's why I'm doing this. I'm bringing you guys higher production value because I have some points I got to make, and it's important. It's important stuff. Today's is probably one of the biggest ones for me. It's one of my main mottos. It's that real men do yoga. Okay, real men do yoga. Does this mean you have to be a real man to do yoga, or you only men do yoga, or if you don't do yoga, you're not a man? No, I've been asked these things before, so I just want to get them right out the way. No, that's not what I'm saying. I make it into a little bit more of a poignant statement so that people will, hey, over here, look at me. I'm getting your attention back. Like, hey, real men do yoga. Whoa, what does that mean? Exactly. Let's talk about it. And I have a lot to go on this one. This is going to be like probably a little series. I think there's a way I can make playlists of some kind, playlists of videos with specific topics. Oh, by the way, it's windy today. It's windy today. All right. So this thing, again, high quality production value. That thing is supposed to be a wind blocker of some kind. We're going to see if that works. We're going to find out if that works. Because if this audio isn't up to snuff, you guys don't even see this video. But if you're watching it right now, clearly you can't hear the wind. Maybe you'll see it ruffle the AI background. Maybe it'll distort the green screen, and that'll be the way you know that it's windy outside. Okay, real men do yoga. Real men do yoga means you don't know what yoga means. That's the first thing I'm going to say. That's the first way I say it. You don't know what yoga means. So when you hear real men do yoga, you think probably a bunch of things, but there's a lot of things that I know I thought before I practiced yoga, not before I practiced it. I had done a couple classes before that had no impact on me whatsoever. I did what I was expecting to do. I stretched, I exercised, I sweat. Then I did a meditative practice, a very specific one. We'll go into that all the time. We're going to talk about that. But it's the meditation that had a real big impact, clearly on me. And here we are. Okay. So when I think about like real men do yoga, I think real people do yoga. I think everyone needs yoga. I think people that otherwise would never even think about having that as a practice would, if translated, if described to them, if explained to them without using any kind of cultural references, right? There is the universal science of yoga, void of symbolism and any kind of worship. Okay, so let's get that out there. There is a very crispy, clean, and clear scientific practice, and that's the main thing. That's the one that kind of always leads this conversation. Is meditation. People have been meditating. They call it meditation. In any language, they have a practice that they utilize that lines up with meditation. They might not call it the word meditation, but here we are. Yoga in its most scientific, raw, to the defined T, to the technical aspects, is meditation. It's the science of meditation, and it's the science of meditation towards yoga. So it's yoga is the practice, the science, and the goal. And that goal, yoga, means realization. You might call it enlightenment. Again, this is something that's happened in the East and the West. They just call it different names. But the science is what it comes down to. The translated technical terms, understanding them at their depth is what it comes down to, and that's when it's understood. Of course, real man. Of course, men would you do yoga? Why wouldn't you ask the grandest questions that the cosmic collective can offer? Why wouldn't you be introspective and contemplative of your own mind and its patterns and its qualities and your identity? Why wouldn't you study the ancient texts in some aspect, in some regard, and try to integrate the teachings from times of old into your modern day life, and use philosophy and open up your mind to possibilities? Why wouldn't you want to have positive affirmations and seek oneness and unity with your fellow man and woman, right? But what do we do? What do we think? We think that it's a women's practice. I thought it too. I thought it was a feminine thing because I thought it was stretching. And I was all into weightlifting, and I was all into getting big and bulky and strong, and which is fine. But then, you blow out your shoulder or you tear a muscle and you start realizing maybe I should be incorporating some of that stretching thing. But I don't want to be the only guy in a class, and it's very foo-foo, and it's chakras, and it's, colors, and they hold hands and sing kumbaya, and and then it's avoided. And it's avoided. And in our time right now, with all the different ways that we could get help physically, we could get help mentally, we have all these different avenues in society where people are there to help, to serve. And yet, what do we see in society? We see so much mental health issues. We see so many physical issues as well. We see so many medical issues. But how many mental health issues are just running rampant in our world right now? I was someone that suffered, and I still do. Of course, I'm not cured at all, 100%. I wish I could say I was. That'd be nice. But anyway, how much of that we have in our society that we don't even have that as an outlet. We don't even have that as an avenue. Go into a class, be uncomfortable for a couple sessions, find out that overcoming that discomfort is kind of part of it, right? Breathing through when your ego's freaking out and being disturbed by something, breathing through that something is part of it. Learning that you're capable of things that you might otherwise not have recognized is part of it. Knowing that the person next to you is also struggling is part of it. Knowing that you all enjoy rest at the end and then you're picked back up together is part of it. Every single aspect of the practice starts to chip away, and we realize it's very masculine. It's a necessity to have that introspective and contemplative aspect to the masculine life, because there's so much to be, there's so much. I'm going to get flack for this. I don't care. Leave it in the comments. Just share it to your friends. Stir it up. Stir up the pot. Who cares anyway, right? You see this whole thing's, hey, this is my AI background. Please don't even get me started. We are only here for a blink. Might as well have fun and upload silly videos onto YouTube, right? Of course it's masculine. Get on a mat. Look at the practice. Look at how difficult it can be. Is it to stretch you out? Please. The strength it takes to go through a 90-minute practice, a 90-minute vinyasa is astounding. It's different in different parts of the world, obviously. It's different translations and understandings of different parts of the world. When I lived in South Florida, I saw so many men in all my classes. I saw, if I had a class of 40 people, 15 might be men, 20 even some nights. It was amazing. I had MMA fighters. I had college athletes, professional athletes. I had, just the boyfriend or the husband that's joining his wife or girlfriend. Amazing. Amazing. I had bodybuilders. I really did. It was so cool to see this, this sculpted guy in there doing something that my whole life I thought was feminine. And now I'm teaching it, knowing that it's not, and seeing the energy that joins the class, that joins the practice, the collective breath and that ferocity in the practice, and the softness and the grace and the compassion and the love and the synchronicity of it all. It's beautiful. Different parts of the country, it's completely different. When I'm back now in my home state where I was raised, and I was kind of raised in this mentality that I see around here, where a lot of it is, I'm up against it again because I'm talking to my old self. I'm in the gym, in the sauna, talking to myself, or I'm in the treadmill talking to my old self. I know it's tough to get through to them, so I have to have my own ways to kind of chip away. It's meditation, right? They're selling us a bunch of BS. It has nothing to do with stretching. Yep, I know. Get out of here, really? I know. We're being sold a lie. We're being sold a bunch of BS. It has nothing to do with stretching. Zero. I'm telling you guys, listen, this is a secret, so maybe not share this video. Don't share. Your body can't do yoga. Your body can't do yoga. I know, guys. I'm sorry. Somebody just threw something at the screen. Someone else just, kicked the screen. I know. Someone did a spit take. What? Right? Can't do yoga. It does asana. It does the postures. It does the preparatory aspects of the practice. But the practice is understanding. The postures aren't the practice. Yeah? The postures are not the practice. So, that being said, you teach it as meditation. You teach it as introspection. You teach it as contemplation. You teach it as affirmations. People with acting with intention all day. Karma yoga. Studying the nature of the soul, the self, the different pathways to understand that, the spiritual sciences. Jnana yoga. Being in devotion to nature itself. Well, I know this is just an AI green screen, but let's just say this was the woods. Let's just say I could walk like all the way back here, and let's just say that devotion to Mother Nature, to one another, that service, bhakti yoga. You just got to know what it means. Yoga means unity. Yoga means union. To find understanding. To seek knowledge. Yoga. Real men do yoga. Real women do yoga. Men do yoga. Women do yoga. Kids, it's tough. Let them go through their childhood, because you start asking too big of questions. You don't have to right off the bat. Listen, if your yoga is postures, let's get to this point too. If your yoga is postures, perfect. Go. Do all the postures. Do every single posture. That's what they're also there for, to exhaust that itch. You scratch the itch, and then there's got to be more to this. You pick up one of the books, you seek one of the teachers, you seek one of the commentaries, you look into this stuff, and you just keep asking, and you get answered. You keep seeking, and you're going to keep finding. You keep contemplating, and you're going to keep realizing. That's the beauty of the practice as well, is that when you do the introspection, when you do the internal practice, you don't have to go look for the answer. There's no go to the back of the book for the answer. There's aha moments. There's the eureka moments. Sometimes it's just quiet, peaceful. Just, it's felt. It's felt. It can't be spoken of. Talking about this with someone the other day, how he was saying, I heard that meditation can lead to some pretty cool highs. So, oh my goodness, yes, it can. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's almost too different from what we might perceive as high, but we use the word high just to communicate it. And he liked that. And I think I got one. I think I turned one to the meditation side. But it's important. It's important to share this, for me anyway, because it's kind of my whole thing. It's like, if I could go back in time and talk to myself, if I could go back in time and talk to my cousins, talk to my family that I know could have used some layer, some level of this. Is this rituals and rites? No way. Is this the history? No, they call it, it's universal. I'm not even going to say anything in Sanskrit this lesson, this video. Not a lesson, just this rant. In this rant, I'm not even going to use Sanskrit, but they call it universal. The texts call it universal. It was never meant for like one area of the world or one skin color or for people that had one history. It was meant to be integrated into your life, no matter where in the world, no matter what skin color, no matter what your history. How beautiful that there's something that connects us. And it does connect us. We just don't have to call it yoga. We don't have to call it yoga. If you call it other things to other sects of people or parts of the world, they agree, they have it. They just don't use the word yoga, Y-O-G. Why? Why would you have to use the same word? We don't use the same word for a lot of things. In English, apple, I just said the name of it, but in Spanish, it's manzana. Yeah. Completely different words, guys. You heard that? Same thing. I'm talking about the same thing. What's this? What's a tree? In English, I just said it. In Sanskrit, oh no, shit. And I don't know how to say tree in Spanish. It's sorry guys. Sorry. I'm keeping my promise though. I'm not saying any Sanskrit words. Sanskrit is a Sanskrit word. Damn. Okay. We don't use the same words. We don't use the same words for a lot of different things. We might not even use the same words for things in different parts of the country. But we're talking about the same thing. Does that mean we just avoid it because someone calls it something else? You're thirsty, and you might call it a water fountain, and someone else calls it a drinking station. You call that a water fountain? Oh, I don't use those. I don't use water fountains. I use drinking stations. I can't use a water fountain to drink from. I'm going to stay thirsty instead. It's the same thing I hear when it's like, I have all these mental struggles. I have all these physical ailments, but I won't do yoga. You call it yoga? I need to meditate and go to physical therapy. I won't go to yoga. I need to meditate. Oh, man. I think that's enough for today. As you could tell, this one gets me all riled up. But I got a lot more, and I got other reasons for it. Anatomical reasons for it. Psychological reasons for it. Physiological reasons for it. All that correlate with both genders, of course. But I think, especially from where I was before I found the practice and what I realized when I started doing it, is that they're missing it. Men are missing it. They could find so many benefits in so many ways, and they're just missing it for perspective and lack of understanding of the community where they teach it to be feminine, to be kind of something that would be avoided by the masculine, manly man, when they should be the ones that would actually, they would love it if they knew really what it was for and how it would benefit them, and if they were taught it properly. But I don't mind saying that because like I said, where I'm from, the area I'm from, the way it's sold, they are the reason the whole market kind of selling of it here and in other places too, of course. But the way I see it sold is it's kind of divisive, and it is why I would have avoided it, because it's a line in the sand, as this is our feminine, pseudo spiritual practice of sound bowls and kumbaya and tight sexy pants, and it's not a place for men. So because of that, I have no problem saying exactly how I feel towards that, and that it's unfortunate, because that's why we see so many mental health problems with men that could be at least helped. I'm not saying avoided completely. Look at me, but at least helped. So that's it. That's it for that one. What else? No, that's it. Yeah. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Tuning in. Share, like, subscribe, bell. Yeah. You're loved. From the bottom of my heart, you're loved. Especially if you make it to this part of the video. You made it through the whole rant and rave. All right. Have a great one. Peace. Peace. Peace.